Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Purple Pants Podcast, Survivor News.
Yes.
I have the privilege today of doing the intro. I don't quite know why, but we're running with it. As always, first and foremost, we got the leader of the Purple Pants Posse, official Team Carson member, Brice Isaiah. Welcome back to the podcast, Brice. How are we feeling today?
I'm feeling full, feeling grateful, and feeling excited to be here with my Survivor News brothers.
Let's go. And then coming in as well, we got the first merge boo of Winners at War. But you may also know him from Ghost Island, the winner of Ghost Island, and HGTV. It's the baby boy, Wendell Holland.
What's up, gentlemen?
What is going on? We're back. Jack opened his one-handed Dr. Pepper on live camera.
About to get silly this episode.
How was everyone's Thanksgiving?
It was good. It was good. I ate a lot.
It looks it.
Damn.
Okay,
What was
Brice.
everyone's favorite meal or favorite dish of the meal?
My favorite dish?
Yeah.
I'm a combiner, right? And so I started with a scoop of collard greens with a scoop of mac and cheese. I've never tried this particular combo, and it was banging. So I had to announce it to the whole table. And then I proceeded to do you take some. I didn't even get stuffing this year. I didn't even scoop stuffing. But I'll do the combo of like you take some turkey, you take some greens, you take some cranberry sauce, or you take some mac and cheese, you put it all together and you eat it, usually with stuffing. But for some reason, I guess I didn't eat the stuffing.
Brice, can I get you to do an impression of Wendell telling the whole table that the collard greens and the mac and cheese was fire?
Hey everybody. Hey,
I'm
Mom.
not Jack.
Whoa!
Hey Dad. Have you guys tasted these collards and these mac and cheese? Mom, you really did your thing.
That's a terrible impression. That is so bad. Jack, you got to ask him to do something like that when we're at minute 40.
Gosh, yeah, you're right.
Nice.
I gotta catch him when he's already on a heater.
Yeah.
I was just warming up. I'm vanilla, baby. Yeah, what was your favorite dish of the meal, Jack?
Man, we ate at a restaurant. Kind of boring, but I did get the Thanksgiving plate that they had. So we got a lot of Thanksgiving sides as well. I'm gonna have to say the mac and cheese, man. I love a good mac and cheese.
Oh, okay.
He's done.
Sounds delicious. What was yours, Brice? Well, my mom recently had surgery, so I had to, not only after hosting a party, I had to then get up hella early and cook Thanksgiving. So my favorite was my roast that I did with the carrots, the peppers, then after I took it out the crock pot, it was just falling out. So that was my absolute favorite of my Thanksgiving.
You cooked?
I did.
How's Barb feeling?
She is getting better, little more mobility each day. So, she was good. It was weird Thanksgiving. So, but, we tried to make the best of it. So everyone was excited to be there. But I think even more importantly, I think the night before on Wednesday night, everyone was excited to be at Fringe Art when DC and I hosted our Survivor 45 tour stop in Philadelphia, and Philly showed out. Yes. They showed up. I really feel like when DZ and I took it to a next level. However, we won't share too many of the details here because, I feel like when DZ and I will do another pod about Philadelphia because I feel like Philly warranted. What about you, Wendell? How did you feel about our Philly stop?
Philly's always special, and we just try to go a little harder every time. And this time in particular, we really leveled up. We had at Fringe Bar, they have a whole movie theater in there. So we're able to utilize that. And yeah, I think when we pod about it, whenever that's gonna be, we're gonna share some real magical moments.
Yeah, that looks like a bona fide RHAP live, like with the movie theater style. And I wish I could hear more details now, but I will say I'm liking these little episodes recapping some of these events because I listened to the New York one last week, as I texted you guys about. I even called Brice after. Not only were there so many fun moments that you guys were recounting, and even just like the little moments of you guys like arguing, it's just so fun to listen to because I can imagine you guys sitting in the car like bickering. But it also had me a little bit emotional. I called Brice after, and it's just it seemed like one of those events that, you know, puts everything in a perspective, especially coming off the tail of 300 episodes. It just seemed like a beautiful night. And so to hear those nights just recapped in full for me is always super fun. And I know a lot of other fans have been appreciating it.
We appreciate that feedback, Jackery. I feel like when we recorded that episode, I thought it was going to be like a fun episode. I didn't know we were going to go down emotional lane. And, you know, my blinker is always to the left, and I don't mind, you know, I don't mind, you know, being open, honest, and vulnerable to the posse. So appreciate that, Jackery.
And Jack, we might just do another one of those style pop-ups. You never know who might be calling Brice Isaiah. So we'll see.
You never know. You know, sometimes what they say, Jack, your wish may be granted.
I'm keeping my schedule open. So,
well, Philadelphia was truly amazing, and we can't thank our, you know, tri-state area for supporting us. But listen, onward and upward. Our next stop, we will be headed to the NOLA Baby in the Big Easy December 5th to open up for the man, the myth, the legend, Rob Sesternino. So we will be in the Big Easy on Tuesday, December 5th for the welcome party. And if you know, you know, tickets are available in the Brice and Win Present Instagram and Twitter bio. And after New Orleans, we're headed to Florida. After Florida, it's the bang, the burn, boom, ta. The finale. Tickets are available. They are going quick for that. And listen, if you know, you know, you don't want to miss. So you can get your tickets. And yeah, what's up? I mean, I'm excited. I got a lot of hot takes this episode, and I got a lot of perspectives. And I feel like apologies should be handed out this episode to me on multiple.
Oh, wow. Okay, we'll see about that. We'll see about that, but I'm excited to get into it, and I'm excited that you brought up the last few Brice and Wen events because I think I'm going to be at least one. Good chance, very good chance I'll be at two.
Oh.
So now I haven't been to one all season. I've been absolutely lacking. But, you know, your baby boy peeped some of the flights. Shout out to skiplag.com. And they were looking cheap. They were looking mighty cheap. So, and, you know, there's a couple cities in there, New Orleans, that I've never been to. So,
before we get into this, I do have a question, Jack, because, you know, I'll be on the TikToks. And I watched a TikTok about a guy who utilizes skip lag. And they were telling the tricks in the trade. And they were like, skip lag is amazing, but you should not use it for all your travel. Because he was like detailing a story where an airline was like, nah, you're not getting on this plane. You're playing. Goodbye. Like, so explain skip lag to me real quick.
So this is not like a sponsorship or anything.
But
skip lag has a feature that can find you much cheaper flights by finding you I don't know what the term is for it, but basically, like, say you want to go to Boston from Philly or whatever. And maybe the direct flight from Philly to Boston is $300. But maybe there's a flight to Detroit that connects through Boston that's not super full. You could, and that might be $100. You could hop on that flight, bring just a carry-on, and just hop off in Boston, and then it's only $100. The thing is, airlines figured it out, and they don't want you to do that. And so some airlines, if they find out that you do that too much, they'll block you from using the airline. So you don't want to use it too much. Actually, when I went from Chicago to New York for one of your guys' events a long time ago, I did that method both ways. And on my way back, they were like, why didn't you get on your connecting flight? I was like, oh, something came up. And they're like, if you don't get on your connecting flight, like, you're going to be blacklisted from American Airlines or whatever. But I was like, oh, I'll get on my connecting flight. But I've flown American Airlines since, so I think they were just bluffing. But the nice thing about skip lag is they also, aside from those like special flights, they just find it like the cheapest flights from every single airline. And so it's kind of like a one-stop shop to find just the cheapest flights overall. So that's what I typically use, but I don't know. I'm not good with all the airline flight points and everything. So I just be using skip lag. But
yeah, I was trying to explain that to somebody, but imagine me explaining that to somebody. So I was just like, listen to the podcast this week. I'm gonna get Jack to do.
Hey
it,
Jack,
so.
do you have the skip lag app, or do you just go online?
you should just go on the website. Because when I'm booking a flight, you know, I feel like that's something you want to sit down and like make sure you're doing it right. But I've booked them out a couple times.
Brice, I'm doing my cuticles. Fine, I'll stop.
I don't know why you feel like you need to pick your toes.
It's my cuticles.
I can see that your foot is on the chair and that
like uncomfortable. I'm just doing my cute, literal, my cute. Okay, fine, I'll stop.
Cutes.
It's my ADHD. I'm sorry, Brice.
I mean,
Brice,
listen, it's pedicure news. So like,
wait, Brice, first of all, don't get me started right now. We had our one fight this week on Wednesday at the party. We will talk about it on the pod. So you've hit your fight quota. So don't pick on me, Jack.
okay.
I use Priceline and I use the American Airlines app. That's how I just book my flights. I don't ever go on like websites.
I think Priceline is similar. You know,
I use Hopper.
I think that's kind of similar too. But
yeah,
skip lag has that extra function where sometimes you can find a real cheap flight. But everyone has their thing that they use. So I don't know necessarily that's better or worse. But I'm just glad I went on there and found a cheap flight to New Orleans. So that's
baby.
So listen, you don't only get your Survivor news, you get your travel tips here first from the baby boy that's Jackery.
The Purple Pants for lights.
He said
Purple Pants polites.
Exactly.
Be polite while you flight.
Enough. Can we get into the episode, please?
Yes.
So let's dive on in. At the end, not to get too far, this wasn't the most crazy episode coming off of last week, but like you said, Brice, there's a lot of like small moments and stuff that I think are going to be really fun to debate and just kind of be open to giving different thoughts. So there's a lot to unpack. So let's dive in. First off the tail of that big time Kelly blindside, Kendra's back sitting on the beach, just kind of grieving the loss of Kelly. Makes a toast. Meanwhile, Jake is back at the camp, just kind of on a natural high, being able to survive that tribal council. I feel like at this point he feels like he's basically playing with house money. Like he feels like he should have been gone. He's been given a second chance almost. So he's just stoked to be there. And Katora kind of comes to console Kendra, and Kendra immediately starts to toss out Dee's name, which Katora brings back. Basically, I don't even know if it's that night or the first thing the next morning to that Reba alliance. Few things going on here. What stuck out to you guys?
One thing's for sure, two things for certain. Your parents told you don't play with fire, right? And playing with fire on this season is saying the name D. I don't even want to say it out loud because we have seen from episode 2 with D. If you say her name,
she gonna snipe you.
She gonna snipe like that. That's what kind of pissed me off when I was watching in the movie theater style, seating with a whole bunch of fans. As soon as my girl Kendra, because I love Kendra, as soon as she said her name, I said, oh, Lord Jesus, because it don't matter. Somebody could be physically pushing Mama T down. Somebody could trip Austin. Somebody could break Basil's glasses. And they're like, we got to get this person out. And it's going to be like, no, Kendra, she said my name. So I
I
just
don't
got
even know.
nervous.
I don't even know if Probst says her name in challenges anymore.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I also it was interesting seeing Jake celebrate, right? And I know this might be all over the place a little bit, but I loved it, right? Like I mean, literally, that man was in his casket in the grave, and they were throwing the flowers and they were releasing the doves for him, right? Like, you know, they were like, with the body, the soul, and Christ. The doves were going. Like, this man has a second chance at life. And I'm not mad at that celebration. And I know later on we see Bruce kind of like, I don't even want nothing to do with Jake. He was celebrating too hard. Like, I don't know. I appreciated Jake's celebration. Like, you know, it's like literally a new lease on life.
I agree wholeheartedly. And with every tribal that you get through, if you squeak by, that's how it is
Not
on the
too
slope.
much.
Ooh, Brice, I wasn't even taking a shot at you, but if you feel
But it was a
that's
stray.
okay,
A stray came my way.
you were a civilian. But yeah, with every day you get by on the island, every tribal you make it through, it's a new day. So I like that about Jake. And I also like his character. He's given us a lot of good TV, whether he's upset, whether he's happy, whether he's trying something, when he's angry. Like, I love watching this guy.
I do too. I think in his preseason interviews, like I remember him being so funny, talking about he sleep on a twin size bed. But I think watching him in the beginning, I think I forgot about that. Like I think I was like, oh, it's this Boston guy. So I just think I just thought of like, oh, you know, like a blue collar worker. And I feel like the more we get to see of him, I love how quirky, how funny, and anybody that could give you a face. I love that. So it's like I'm loving seeing more of Jake. I think also what's interesting is we get to see this morning of Bruce, right? Where he's not happy, he's pissed off, and he talks about a lot of his upbringing, being in foster care, and you know, me being a social worker, and you know, for a decade working with child welfare. I really could understand Bruce's story. I really could like feel what he was feeling. And so it was just interesting. And I almost felt like as we see that night and the day, I feel like could this have been one of the best things for Bruce's game in the sense of he's like, I'm not getting up and stroking the fire. I'm not going to like, you know, it was like dad was on vacation that day. And it's almost like, you know, him almost taking his foot off the gas a little bit, I think could be a really good thing for his game.
Did you say stroking the fire?
I mean,
whoa.
I mean, never mind.
Whoa.
Just stoking the fire. Like, you know, you could see that he was visibly upset, and he's like, you know what? You know, your parents ever be like, you know what? Y'all don't appreciate what I do. I go to work every day to put groceries, Dr. Pepper, so you could shop at Trader Joe's. I'm not going to do it.
Brice, yes. I think this, I agree with you about this morning for Bruce. I think we got to see another side of him, a softer side, the father side that's like, man, if this is how people view me, then when I go home, I might have to have some like real conversations with my daughter or my wife and see if that's how they view me. And I enjoy, one of the things I really enjoy about these 90-minute episodes is that they allow the space for this. So we don't just have, because like Bruce could have been edited just like, I don't want to say Philip Shepard, but like just like a strictly quirky, annoying, like dad uncle kind of guy that got on people's nerves. But now we get the time for them to really show multiple sides of this human being, and we're multidimensional people. So I really like that. I am a little scared that maybe this means like within the next 2 episodes he might be out of there, because if he doesn't win immunity, I mean, he'll have his idol, but he can't win them all. But I do like that we're getting more sides of him.
Yeah.
I wish I could be a fly on that wall when he goes home and like talks to his daughter and his wife, I so be fair if his daughter's like, well, you know, you are a little hard when I don't do my homework. You know, you do yell at me when I don't take the trash out.
So how's he gonna react, Brice?
He gonna be like, no, I got it. I'll take the trash out. I'm gonna take the trash out.
I was just gonna say, like, it's great to see Bruce having this moment of like self-reflection and self-awareness a little bit, because we forget too in Survivor, like we see a lot of people in confessional saying the things that about Bruce that are bothering them. But when you're in Survivor, you're trying to people please, and so people might not have really given Bruce that information that he's rubbing people the wrong way. So it's kind of like, if this is how he acts, like how is he supposed to know better up until this point? And the fact that now he finds out and is trying to make a change both in the game and in life, I think is really humanizing and just generally like a good thing for Bruce. We'll have to see how it works out, but I thought this episode really brought Bruce back to earth in a very good way. And I also think, you know, a lot of times in Survivor, that moment of realization that maybe things weren't what you thought they were is when you get voted out. And so for Bruce to have this opportunity to step back and realize like where he's really at in the game without being, you know, at home in Ponderosa is kind of a privilege and a great opportunity that I hope he could capture.
You made me think of something, Jack. Who told Bruce? Was it D that told Bruce?
I think it was D, and I think a couple other people as well.
Okay, Jack, be careful. Don't say that name.
Right, don't say that name too loud.
Okay.
Right. No, cool.
Okay. What if she just changed the whole trajectory of his game with that? In kind of that was kind of a lie. That was a lie, right? Like,
so no, I think it was kind of the truth.
A manipulation of the truth. Because Kelly, because we knew Kelly was like annoyed with Bruce.
And she was on the verge of flipping, like she was, but I feel like she was playing both sides, like she was keeping her options open.
And so what Dee did was use that. She used that to kind of, you know, piece things, whatever. What if this changes Bruce's whole mentality? What if he becomes a much more tolerable person out there? And I don't know. Maybe this doesn't change his game. Maybe this sends him back to the top.
Listen, let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? I think this is still
crazy things this season too. Like when Kayla pulled Emily aside and kind of gave her a talking to, and
you're right.
And Emily is a front runner.
For me, I also feel like I love when a player feels like they're against the wall, right? Like I love when you like, you know, when your back is against the wall, you just gotta go swinging. So I really do hope that we see something in Bruce. And again, you know, maybe if Bruce is mad at everybody, then everybody could get it. So like I'm excited for that though. So
the only one other thing I wanted to add to this storyline wise is, and I know like Reva's been so tight and Bella's been a hot mess, right? But what if we have this storyline where day one, Emily calls Bruce out. Fast forward to day 18, 19, wherever we are now. And I mean, she's starting to realize that Reva, they're doing their thing. What if Emily and Bruce finally come together? What if Bruce finally pieces things up with Katora? What if they actually try to do something? I mean, granted, Reba has a lot of artillery still, and they're so tight. But I'm just saying, like, this would, because we're watching a Pagonging.
Oh?
Pagonging.
Jack, what's that?
That's like I think it's Survivor Palau, right? When the Pagong tribe just got taken out one by one. It's basically just one tribe just eliminates the other one without any hesitation.
Okay, I thought it was an actual word.
No, it's a Survivor. Pagong was a tribe.
Survivor. It's a survivorism.
Oh, okay.
Was that Borneo? Am I tripping?
I don't know which. I don't even know.
Wow, I'm lacking on my knowledge. But
the way it sounds, I was like, maybe me and Austin should try a Pagonging. I don't know. Just the way. I mean, just the way he came out. So I was
okay. Survivor fan. Sorry for my misremembering of that. I shouldn't even be on the podcast anymore. And then the last thing we have before we get into the challenge is D coming to Austin and Drew, and sort of, I'm sorry, Emily coming to Austin and Drew, and saying, "What's the status with D? With D?" There we go. I say quiet because now she's getting talked about.
Right now, she's popping up.
And Austin and Drew, you know, who are trying to balance both of these alliances, are kind of like tiptoeing around because they need to make sure.
Are they tiptoeing though?
Oh, well, I mean, they say
it sounded like a big stomp to me, and I feel like, again, I'm still mad at my girl Emily, but you know, it's a new day, and I still love her. I love how smart she is in this. Like, you know what? Let me test these mother to see if we really in this, like we was in this before. And she goes and she says, "The name that shall not be named, D." And the way that they both were like, I mean, why would we? Because, you know, and sometimes what you're not saying says it loud enough. And again, I was surprised at Basil and Austin because it's like, why not just entertain her? Why not why? Because I think the beauty of this threesome that we saw before was that like they were allowing Emily to have a voice. They were saying all the right stuff. When you get with a man at first, that he say all the right stuff, he gonna text you, he gonna call you, he gonna come to Thanksgiving, and then Thanksgiving come and
what?
Okay, sorry. I just had a little flashback. Sorry, but they were saying all the right stuff. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait. Now, mind you, because I'm not mad, but I really feel like you're not making Emily feel secure in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. We do see the pieces. The pieces are starting to go into motion of some people from that alliance, namely D and Julie, thinking about whether their options might be better elsewhere. But we would have to see, you know, there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of disunity on that Bello side of things. So who knows what will happen down the line. But now we get into sort of the precursor to the immunity challenge, where we get a tree mail saying you got to divide into 3 groups. And, you know, Drew proposes, what if we take like and I thought this was kind of smart. He was like, what if we get like a strong guy, a strong girl? Like they kind of all agree to balance the tribes, the groups, right? And so Drew's like, what if we get a strong guy, a strong girl, and then like a weakling? And he's like, I kind of think I'm a weakling. So he's just able to place himself on a team with a strong guy and a strong girl with Jake and D. So we get these teams, Jake, D, and Drew, Austin, Emily, and Katora, Bruce, Kendra, and Julie. And we head off to the challenge, but we don't know exactly what these teams are for. There's concerns that there might be vote outs within each team, which, I mean, that would be a little bit absurd. But because of that concern, the Reba Alliance identifies that Julie is in kind of a precarious position with Bruce and Kendra. Not only are they Bello tri-mates, but Bruce also has an idol. So Austin gives Julie one of his idols just for a little added protection. So I guess before we get over to the challenge, if you guys are Austin, are you dishing out this idol on? Is it a temporary loan? Are you able to get it back? Like what's the thought process there?
I feel like we are starting to see my man. I'm going to stick by my man no matter what. But this episode, and this was the first sign that like I see Austin's Achilles heel. And one, anytime in these previous seasons that we have seen somebody in this predicament, first of all, Mama Julie was like, I am not going to be Basil. She said, Austin, give me that. I need that. I'm not leaving nothing behind. So also, like, shout out to Mama Julie. That's Tina, because I'm mad at that. But also, Austin, I need a little like, all right, well, let me go get it. We on lockdown, can't talk. Like, you know, like, Austin, where are you? Like, I understand it, but like, whoa, baby boy, we giving away the family jewels a little too easily, my man. Like, let's Take a step back.
How do you do that without making Julie feel like unimportant though?
You do an Irish idol goodbye. I'll be right back. I'm about to go get this idol. And then she just never see you until it's time to go on lockdown. I mean, am I wrong?
I gotta go. I gotta go use the bathroom real quick. Oh, my tummy is hurting.
Mama Julie, Austin, the ocean's right there. Like,
give me a second.
Hold on, wait. I think I gotta go tell Kelly something. I'll be right back.
So, yeah, that was I think it was smart on behalf of Julie to be like, yo, if something funny happens, I need protection amongst this three. I think in Austin's case, it kind of shows how tight he is with Reba Four, how locked in, dialed in he is, which might be his Achilles heel. I'd love to see a crack in this Reba Four somehow, some way. I'd love to see Mama Julie with an idol in her pocket now being like, I lost the idol. I don't know, doing something to not return this idol and target him. Brice, I'm sorry, but I want to see this. I want to see something happen to this Reba Four because
okay, it's more than one person in the four.
I'm not saying that other person.
Okay, well, Dave, the only reason why you saying sorry to me is if you trying to attack somebody.
I'm not trying to attack your man.
Thank you.
But I'm just saying he has a lot of stuff. He's got a lot of baggage.
I mean, he does. He is smart. He is strategic. He is chiseled. He is handsome. It appears that his natural aroma smells good. He know how to do math. I thought he said he was in the NBA, but really he's just getting his NBA. He's loyal. He's kind. He's caring. He's smart.
He's not easy on the eyes because you saw him devour that fish eye.
Because I was the fish eye and he ate every drop of it. And if you watch his TikTok, he said that it wasn't that bad.
Jack, can you please take us to the challenge?
Yeah, let's get to the challenge.
But also, wait, hot take. Here's another hot take real quick. Not about Austin. Now that, Jeff got my number, I might have to call him. Why are we breaking up in 3 again? That kind of pissed me off.
Let's talk about it.
Are we on the merge or not?
I agree.
Do you? Because isn't that a way to shake up this pagani?
No. Here's my thing is more so the losing of the votes is final 9. We've already had the mergatory. We've already had them split into 2 groups of 5. We finally got one normal vote last week, and it was the blind side of the new era. And then now we're like, let's mix it up again. And I don't mind the groups of 3 because that makes it easier to do the group that wins the reward, this and that. But I'm like, when you're losing votes, the final 9 is just such a crucial point in the game. And there's been just a lot of great final 9 tribals. And now with losing votes, it kind of just it kind of dumbs it down a little bit, in my opinion. Obviously, I guess there's opportunities for it to make things more exciting, just depending on the situation. But I didn't love the twist either. So
I do love one challenge encompassing so many different levels though, right? I do love that. I do love, if you make it to the second one, this tribe, they lose something. You make it to the third one, this tribe wins. And whoever wins out of those 3, I do like breaking all of that up though. I do love having an immunity and a reward challenge all in one. My hot take.
Are you a fan of it, Wendell?
I want to see whatever it takes to shake up the game. And I think that could have been a method to shake things up a little bit. Ultimately, it didn't happen. But I like the fact that they gave these people an opportunity to win their vote back. And I like the shadiness and the different ways that you can manipulate going out there without a vote and coming back and maybe or maybe not or lying, which we'll get to. So am I a fan?
I hate it.
I'm a fan. I like watching these, you know, and in Survivor's case, they try things out. If it doesn't work out well, they might not bring it back, you know, or they'll tweak it. So in this case, I liked seeing something a little different. I know a lot of people didn't like it.
I mean, I didn't hate it. It gives us something to talk about, but I didn't love it. But with that being said, I guess we can dive into it and kind of dissect the different parts of it. We get to the challenge again. There's a lot of parts, so I'm not going to go like leg by leg necessarily, but we have Jake D and Drew, Austin, Emily, and Katora, and Bruce, Kendra, and Julie. The first stage of the challenge involves crossing a balance beam while holding a ball on a little platform, and then once your whole team's across, you dig up these ropes. Austin, Emily, and Katora reached the digging portion first, but you know, Jake's team makes a great comeback, and Austin, Emily, and Katora are the first group out of the challenge, meaning that they will lose their vote. The next stage, you have to use those ropes to build a rope bridge and cross over that, and then land balls on like little metal platforms. Once again, we see another comeback where Jake D and Drew get there first, but then Bruce, Kendra, and Julie pull up and are just hitting the shots. And so Bruce, Kendra, and Julie advance to the final leg of the challenge, which is outstretched arms, holding these planks. And I think we get a really impressive performance from all three of them. We see Kendra time and time again contorting her body to fix the planks when they're slipping. But ultimately, Bruce secures his second straight win, just really showing out. But that whole group is able to secure a trip to the Survivor Sanctuary where good things happen. And yeah, that's sort of the recap of the challenge. Anything stand out particularly before we move forward?
Nope.
I just was wondering where Jake was shooting those balls at first. I was like, he's just okay. Okay, he thought he was working with Carson and NASA because he was. I was like,
he was launching them.
He was launching. I was like, okay, Jay. I mean, all right, okay.
What I will say is, the final three in this challenge, they were looking strong out there, and congratulations to all three of them. But Bruce beasted it. Second, friend of the show, our guy.
Now, but here's. I really feel like this immunity necklace was probably the equalizer. I feel like the beginning half, Bruce was like, you know what? I got to get my ish together. I got to stop. I got to do that. I feel like the moment Jeffrey put this back on Bruce,
he's back.
I feel like that. Hey. What you were saying over there? Like, I feel like this might be the confidence that is going to reemerge.
He got his mojo back.
That's his mojo.
I got my swagger back. Have you seen that video?
Nah.
It's like this high school football team wins like a championship game or something, and then they all just like they're getting interviewed and they're all trolling, and one kid's like, "I think I got my swagger back." Like, and that kind of reminds me of that.
All I do is and all
Brice, is that
cause I got that swag, and if I should swag, I want to not it and ride it and pull up on my body, got a bag beside me, and I'm swag. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Like this. Oh, huh? No.
Hey.
And I'm swagging. I'm surfing. I'm swagging. I'm surfing. I'm swagging. I'm surfing. I'm clean like this detergent.
Okay. Wait. So also, did you, Jack, see on Twitter this week? It was a video of Bruce in his car rapping. Did you see this? So I forget the song that it was. I don't know. It could have been like, I'm so fresh.
I'm on a new level.
Oh, yeah. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level.
I need to check that out.
He was driving though. He was like, oh, I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level. So mind you, it was making its rounds. It was making its rounds on Twitter, and someone added Wendell and I and said, "This is Jack when he guesses a song right from Brice and Wendell."
It's not wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I was just shouting out Bruce for that win. Good job.
Oh, and I was going to say, it's funny that the last 2 episodes have been episodes where we see Bruce finally kind of start to slack off a little bit at camp, where, you know, when they're looking for the money for the auction, he's just hanging out. This episode, he's like, you know what, let's let them go get the firewood. He's just hanging out, and then he turns up at the immunity challenge. It's like, you got to rest sometimes, I guess. And then, so we get over to the sanctuary, which I'm a little sick of the sanctuary. I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but I miss the like go visit a local school and like hand out like school supplies and meet like I want some culture. Like I know that sounds like kind of cliche, but I don't need to see them sitting at like a little wooden shack just going raw
with a big old with a big old chicken and nothing else. No accoutrements.
That's what I'm saying. No napkins, no mac and cheese, no collard greens,
no stuffing,
but yams.
Oh, now
we did it, yams. I can't sing like Charlie Wilson.
That is. What's the name of that song by Charlie Wilson? And I think it's
the yams.
Oh my God, Jack!
Get to the yams, sweet yams.
Oh yeah, I know that song.
Oh, Jack, we were on our way to Dayton, Ohio, and Wendell and Joey played that song, and that took me out.
Can I get to the yams?
Sweet
yams. Show me
Jack,
the way.
Have you ever heard this song, Jack? Now, this is, you know, I know you would have to heard this song. Greens, beans, potatoes, lettuce, lamb, ham, hog, maw, greens, beans, potatoes, lettuce. Yeah. You name it. I will personally pay for your jet lag flight.
Skip lagged.
No, I wasn't being smart. I was actually shocked. I wasn't trying to. Anyway, now I will personally play for your skip lag. I was saying jet lag on purpose, Wendell.
Okay.
Even if he got it. Anyway, can you name the original artist that is singing that song?
And what are you going to pay for? His flight?
His jet. I'm going to give him a credit.
No, I know the song, but I feel like that was like I mean, I might be wrong, but I thought that was like a random artist. But
no, it wasn't. It actually. Okay, so that's a no. All right.
Well, let me think about it then.
You're never going to guess it. But I will give you. You can earn bonus points if
I earn my vote back.
You can earn your vote back if you can guess what genre of music it is from.
Wait, are you talking about that song specifically, or was it like based on another song?
So it was I mean, they just actually remixed it, but I got greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, lettuce, law, hog, greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, whatever, you name it.
What's it sound like? What genre does that sound like?
I mean, it's like hip hop to some extent, but obviously it's more specific.
Okay, well, is that your
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, hog, you name it.
Nah, I don't have a specific genre.
Okay. Well, the genre is gospel.
Oh, that's
the artist. Do you know the name of the artist, Wendell?
No.
The artist is a gospel legend entrepreneur. She's a pastor. She's a pioneer. It is Shirley Caesar.
Never even heard of that.
Yeah,
That's me when I'm trying to order a salad at dinner. I'm like, Shirley Caesar.
Okay. Just random little gospel knowledge for you, just expanding your accoutrements of music knowledge. Here's one thing that I will say, that the tribe, the suite, the embassy suite, what is this? The
Sanctuary.
sanctuary. What it did for me was, okay, Mama Julie, it allowed me to see Mama Julie in a new light. Her poker face with Kendra regarding D, having that contrast confessional was like, oh, okay, Mama D, Mama Tina. I did feel like, well, girl, I don't know how to. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about you, because it's like you're being too loyal to D. But for me, it really showed me like, okay, like she's in this game. She's got her rah 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 rah. She got her poker face on.
Wasn't that Bad Romance or something?
That was
okay. First of all, Jack, but what I don't need from you,
mama.
Yeah, it just allowed me to see Mama Tina Mama Julie in a different light.
I agree. Poker face, poker face.
That's what I said.
It shows she's like willing to play ball a little bit, but she's not quite like ready to pull the trigger. But at least she's positioning herself well. But I mean, that's kind of like what I've been saying. I think she could be a losing finalist because she's someone that people want to work with, but she might not make the move she needs to make. Other takeaway from
she said in her confessional, like, yeah, Kendra might have said this, but I want to go to the end with D. So that's scary.
Yeah, I ain't trying to do that.
Nah.
Yeah. And then last takeaway from this is Kendra ate chicken for the first time in 15 years, which I thought was kind of funny. I know that must have been tough for her, but I'm like, if the bird's already there and Bruce and Julia are gonna eat it anyways, like you might as well get you some sustenance.
Yeah, but then just to go home that night.
Can we also talk about the blatant disrespect of D and Basil
to Jake?
Oh, yeah.
Are we there, Jack?
Yeah, I kind of skipped over that group because there wasn't a whole lot of strategy going on because they're just sitting at camp. But that moment was definitely a moment.
Oh, man.
Like, first of all, it's like Basil. He's a savage, right? Like, first of all, he's like, should we separate equally? And he's like, no, you go ahead. So then they're like talking. And then, Basil is like, well, I mean, this is, he's selling me a car. He just what he could do for me. And then they get to the end of it, and the lady that shall not be named, because I don't want no smoke from her, because if she hear my name, I don't want her to come to Philly and get me. But like, she's like, where's the rice? And Drew's like, you didn't save him any? And she's like, no. And for me, it's like them scraping their coconut back into it. But it gets even better. Jake comes back from wherever he's coming back from, and they're like, oh, we burnt some of the rice. We had to toss it. And the last scene, we see a Jake of him opening the pot, and he's like, oh, like he was happy.
That's the type of guy Jake is.
I'm sorry. Basil and D, if you could lie to somebody like right to their face, I mean, get them in the final 3 and just give them the burnt $1 million rice. Like, I just feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
funny. That was funny, but also I think a lot of people dislike them for doing that.
I mean, yeah.
I saw people debating this though, like, was that supposed to be funny? And I'm like, I thought it was kind of funny, but also it's meant to make them look a little villainous, which I think is, the intention.
But How many times have you been eating Doritos and you said to yourself, I'm only going to eat half. I'm going to save the rest for later. And you watching a show.
And the bag is empty all of a sudden.
I don't think it was malicious. I really think like Basil. Well, first
I
of
mean,
all, Drew was feeding two people, Drew and Basil. So I mean, it's like
I don't think it was malicious, but I think it was selfish to where they weren't thinking about. They weren't like let's F over Jake, but they were like, let's just have as much as we want. Like, what are they gonna do about it?
But I mean, also, here's another thing that maybe it's a hot take. You know, I was on Survivor for 11 days. There was never any point in time that when we ate rice, I allowed them to just divvy it up and hand it to me, though. Like, because again, mind you, we did that with Jeremiah and Jeffra, and yeah, they would get significantly less. Like, I feel like if you want an even portion of your rice, you need to be there when the pot come off. That's just my take.
I think that's smart.
That's true. I mean, if people were cooking up rice, I would probably wait and like, because I'm sure Jake was hungry too. Like, I'm surprised he went off and did whatever and was like late to the party. But
he still seemed grateful though. That was the funny part for me, was that like whatever they like. But and hot take after eating rice for what is this, day 16, day 17?
But they only got the rice last episode too. So,
but sometimes when the only thing that you're eating is rice, sometimes it's just like the macaroni and cheese on Thanksgiving. It's that crispity, crusty mac and cheese that's the best. Sometimes that little burnt flavor at the end spices it up a little bit.
Everybody knows in Survivor, it's them crispies at the bottom. Those are the best. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I wonder if Jake was like, why'd y'all throw it out? Like, I would have eaten that too. Like,
I would have been like, well, let me see.
Yeah, where they at? I'll pick through them.
Yeah. Where in the sand are they located?
I'll put them on the curb like the trash man got.
I didn't see you guys get up.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, so we have that group. We've got the sanctuary, and now we head over to the journey with Austin, Katora, and Emily. And make matters short, they're getting an opportunity to win their vote back by completing a math puzzle. From inside sources, I've been told that they had 6 minutes to do it. I know they mentioned 3 in the episode, but I believe it's 6. And you know, as a bit of a puzzle math guy myself, I was very excited to see this one.
Did you try it?
I have tried it. I tried it before I saw the episode. But
how would you know to try it before you saw the episode?
Because he be studying up.
I study up. I study up.
I feel like don't get too with my okay. I'm just that's one warning shot to you, Jax. Like no,
well, I didn't say D's. I didn't say her name though. No.
I wasn't talking
yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's the biggest warning is if just saying D's name. I did it again. No, I tried it. It was fun. It was definitely a mind-boggling puzzle.
So get to the result. What was the result?
Let us know what happened.
So, all right, what happened was you had 6 minutes. I did it in like 6:10.
Okay, so
I didn't have the exact instructions right. So the first minute I was still kind of asking questions. So I would like, because I wasn't sure when I saw it if it was worded a little bit differently. So I had questions about like, can the plus or minus go in front of the 100 or in the 100? So I feel like if I had seen the instructions, I'm getting under 6 minutes.
So you didn't. So you don't have your vote back.
Yeah, you can't vote.
Chill.
You can't vote.
But you know me, I'm a clutch performer. So if I was out there and getting my vote back,
well,
but it was definitely a difficult puzzle. But we see Austin representing for U Chicago, NBA student. Brice thought he was going to see him on the basketball court. But,
I mean, you not thought I was going to see him with LaMelo, but listen,
he's able to get his vote back, whereas Emily and Katora are not able to make it happen. yeah, what did y'all think about this puzzle? Would this have been in y'all's wheelhouse?
I don't know if I would have been able to get it in 6 minutes, but I think I would have been able to get it.
I would have been able to get it with a calculator.
Well, what's a calculator? Well, I guess that helps a little bit.
Just a little more speed
For
with
the quick math.
Your math ain't mathing. Quick maths.
But I was really happy for, shout out to my man. Thank you to my man. To my man. Shout out to my man. Okay, he's showing out. He's just getting more like amazing and amazing and amazing. And we love a good math king.
Oh, we didn't mention, because you're speaking about your man. Mm-hmm. We didn't mention how Kendra noticed something.
What did Kendra notice?
That your man and who shall remain nameless might be in love with each other, and
that kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, right. How do you feel, like Brice? How do you feel about that?
Listen, it's no competition.
Brice's face in this picture, Wendell.
Okay, that's how I feel about it. Okay, she posted this photo to the Instagram. I said, "Oh, she look good." Then I was like, "Well, who's she looking up?" I said, "Wait, who's she laying next to?" Then I had to morph myself in over there to make sure ain't nothing was happening. So I don't know.
You don't know.
It don't matter who. It don't matter who.
Will get you eliminated.
Let's what?
You don't want no smoke.
Oh well, if it come to Austin, then I'll say D. Come welcome to the dough, because I ain't never scared of no smoke. But listen,
you better be careful. D. He is. That is Brice Isaiah, not Jackery, not me.
Listen, when it comes to Austin, I'm gonna go to war.
She gonna get you.
But listen, it don't matter, because I would have been already out the game at this point. Oh, okay. It ain't nothing she could do. What's been done to me, you can't do what's already been done to me.
Brice is over on Ponderosa with like what's it, binoculars?
Binoculars.
Brice is on the merge trip already.
He's over in Laos with some binoculars.
They don't even go on the merge trip anymore. I would just be home.
Brice is just at home looking up spoilers.
He's on Austin's Instagram, just shooting him messages.
I'm calling Austin's parents. Have you talked to him? Have you heard?
Do you have a brother?
Which I'm asking Austin dad. What
he does have a brother.
Look like?
He does have a brother.
Oh, he does. How old is Austin's brother?
I think he's like my age.
Okay, we're gonna have to. Okay, well, listen. That's my little brother-in-law. Here's the thing, right? Shout out to Austin, because not only does he have an appetite, not only is he tall, not only is he strong, not only does he have nice curly hair, not only does he have soft but hard hands, not only does he have nice feet, not only does he have the perfect amount of hair on one's leg that needs to be on there, not only can he tie a buff like a bonnet and still make it look cute, he know how to add and subtract. I mean, if that's not I don't know what holiday, what religion you celebrate, but if that's not a Christmas present right there, I don't know. I'm just saying the 10 out of 10.
Added and subtracted.
He added, and listen, added and subtracted. And the answer to the puzzle is Austin. But listen, also, because when you add, subtract, you add, divide, long division, multiplication, the answer you get is Austin. Now, in that same breath, Austin pisses me off again this episode.
Oh.
Before we dive into this, I just want to know. I'm curious about what you think about Wendell's question. Is do you think there's any?
I don't acknowledge. I don't have time. I don't breathe. I don't live. That's not what I watch Survivor for. So no, there is nothing to that.
A real answer.
It will never be anything to that. It never.
Wendell, what do you think?
I
It
think
don't matter.
I think there might be something there.
It's nothing to be there.
I think there's something there, Brice.
It's nothing or something that's to be there.
I think it's kind of like that idea of like a work husband or a work wife where
we don't
they might
we don't
not
play
be,
that
like,
over here.
flirting, but they might be like they're like, you know,
they got
together.
something to do.
They got
Job's
like
not
they might not be flirting or trying to hook up, but they might be like, we're sticking together. This is like a duo right here.
Let me submit my application to you, Chicago, for this NBA because I don't got time for that. Hold on. I don't got time with y'all.
Nice, I'll give you a referral.
Because I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Because what I'm not going to do with y'all. Okay. What I'm not going to do with y'all. Okay.
Oh, I
If
got
my-
that for you.
If my man is at getting his NBA at U Chicago, you know what we repping? The Cubs. Okay.
The hangy tag on top.
Yeah. I think I got that for you 4 years ago. I'm glad to see
Austin
it's getting
got it
rare.
for me when he was entering in his NBA.
Oh.
The Cubs. Is great.
What's your mascot?
The Maroons.
The Maroons.
It's just a color, but
So you want to know what I say to the potential showman of Austin and D? This is what I say. Where your U Chicago had at D?
wow. You know what's funny that I just thought Chicago has had a lot of people on Survivor, relatively speaking. The Maroons, maybe it's like they were getting marooned on the island.
I see what you did there.
Maybe it's fate.
I mean, we know Raymond,
Yep.
aka Spencer. We know Zaddy Zan.
Yup.
We know. Shout out to my man.
That's a big three right there.
We know. Oh, sorry, I was going to add Jack to the list, but you know,
I mean, we got a number one Netflix show under our belt. So
hey,
it's not. But I mean, tell me that's Raymond, formerly Spencer on Survivor, Xander, Austin. That's a big three right there. That's all stars.
Is there a ticket I could buy to that to that train?
That's wild.
this train is off the rails.
Because I'm getting on it at midnight. I'm going to Georgia.
Okay, Cinderella.
On that midnight train, Georgia. Getting on the midnight train.
All right.
But Brice, I'm sorry to
leaving.
interject, talk about your mans, but what were you saying about what was it?
All I want to say is where D at it. Anyway, no, what I was saying was he pissed me off because again, so smart of the bridge just got a little moist thinking about it. He got so smart to lie and say that he didn't have a vote. If I was in the Big Easy right now, I would have a million beads when I heard him saying that. I loved it. But then I felt like this episode was like a prelude to his Achilles heel, was that like, he's like, of course, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going I got to tell and I'm like, ugh. Like, I wouldn't have been mad if it were like maybe even just D or maybe even Drew. But I feel like also you're being too trusting in this game. And I would have loved for him to just keep it with his original Drew, or being as though he knew that he said something not so great to Emily, maybe take a move out of Caleb's book and bestow this information with Emily and lock her back in. That was just like my hot take. Like, I just didn't love like him. I just wish he would have kept it with one person.
The problem is it makes it hard to coordinate the vote because he knows with his vote that they'll have the Reba 4 will have the majority. I tend to agree with, like, I do think it opens you up down the line, even this vote. Someone could be like, yo, Austin's lying to all y'all. He has a vote, whatever. But I do think it was generally smart to keep it a secret, especially given the fact that whether it's 6 people voting, assuming Austin doesn't have a vote, or 7 people voting, 4 is still the majority. And so either way, Jeff is going to have to show 4 votes. So there's not going to be any real way that people will get tipped off to the fact that Austin did vote. But I do, like I said, I do agree that down the line, it could be some ammunition for like a Julie to be like, oh, did Austin tell you that he did actually have a vote, that he voted? Because, it looks like he was lying to you because he told all of us. That could be a concern.
You said, did you say something to the effect of them not being able to know that he was that vote this time around?
Like,
they're going to know it was him, right?
No, or it could be Couture,
no,
or it could
because
have been Emily.
No. The thing is, it doesn't. Oh, well, I guess people would know. No, but the thing is, it ended up being a unanimous vote. And so
no, because
whether there was
one, there was a Kendra. I mean, there was a Jake, and then there were 4 Kendra.
That Kendra voted Jake. Yeah, exactly. It was unanimous.
But I'm saying, the votes though, somebody's going to figure out that they were
but here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying is, say Austin didn't vote, there would be 6 votes. There would be 6 total votes. It would be 5 votes Kendra, 1 vote Jake. Jeff would have to show 4 votes because otherwise, if he only shows 3, it could be a 3-3 tie, right? So he would show 4 votes, and then now that Austin's voting, the majority is still 4 votes. So basically either way, if it was 6, if Austin voted or Austin didn't vote, the votes that would be shown would be 4 Kendra votes and 1 Jake vote.
So did he read all the votes this time?
He read just the 4 Kendra votes.
Yeah. Okay. Wait a minute.
So 1 Jake, so that's 5.
Well, yeah, the 4 Kendra votes and the 1 Jake vote, but that's what he would have read if Austin hadn't voted as well. So that's the cover that nobody. Because, right, remember early in the season with, like, Emily being like, well, Jeff only read 2 votes. Yeah. Here, it doesn't make a difference. So Austin, no one from just the votes can deduce that Austin actually did vote.
Okay. That was my question because, yeah, I was about to say, all right, Austin's target is about to be through the roof next episode.
Yeah. And I think he was aware of that, that situation. Right, because if everyone's gonna inevitably find out about your vote anyways, there's not really a reason to keep it secret, unless I think it's really gonna like turn the tides. But here, where it ends up being unanimous, it wouldn't be worth it. But obviously, like Brice said, there's a couple people now with a little bit more ammunition against Austin. But I do think that idea to keep the votes secret was very solid. It was actually funny throughout the episode. Like basically every decision point that Austin came to, I was like, before things happened, I was like telling I was like, vote. I was thinking in my head while watching, like, oh, he should do this. Like he should lie about his vote. Then he lies about his vote. And there's a few more things that come up later where before they happen, I was like, ooh, I think he should do this. And then he does exactly what I was thinking. I was like, this man is on, us watching it with knowing all the information we have, it's a lot easier to say like, oh, this is what he should do. So to see him execute those moves in the moment is very, very impressive.
Yeah.
Wendell, do I need to be watching out for D, or do I need to be watching out for Jack?
Are you saying that? Are you
saying
that Jack is in love with Austin?
I mean, it's given very much.
That's just bros supporting bros.
Okay, just as long as it stay that way.
Be careful, Jack.
Brice, trust me, young, please, Brice.
Brice might take Jack out, and then D might take out Brice.
Hey, listen, well, D probably would.
I might have to go make some alliances.
Another thing after we get back and we see the votes kind of start happening, I thought another turning table, which was when they come to Mama Tina, and essentially they say that it's Kendra. And Kendra is, Mama Tina is like, well, I just was with Kendra and Bruce, and they seemed to be thinking, well, it's when Tina was with D, and she downloads the information to D, and D's like, I don't care, it's still Kendra. And so, then we get to see this epiphany from Mama Tina, like, well, dang, I'm trying to make good with Bruce and Kendra, because that could then further my game. And again, it's no, like, you just want to get Kendra out because she said your name. And so it's like we get this epiphany of Mama Tina, or it allows us to think, well, Mama Tina, if you go with D, she's calling the shots. And you just said at the sanctuary, you need to know when to fold them and when to show them. And it's like, they are setting this thing up, in my opinion, where it's like, well, Mama D, what are you going to do here? Because it's like, are you just following D's lead, or are you going to strike out on your own? Because again, voting Kendra out is just something that D can say in the end. It's like, you said my name, I got you out. Like, here was a prime example where Mama Tina, like, you could start building your resume. And so again, for me, just foreshadowing, it's like, is the destruction of Reba inevitable? And is it right around the corner? Because now we have these multiple cracks that are forming. And so that was just like really interesting to see that. But I also love a Mama Tina because she's loyal. Like, and I love somebody that's loyal. But it was just like, well, dang, girl, you just gonna let her take like, you know, like, because then it's like, now Bruce might be coming for Mama Tina.
Yeah. And it's like, didn't someone say Julie's name? Didn't Jake say Julie's name before? Yeah. So what makes D's argument that Kendra said her name any stronger than Julie's argument? Brice, what are you drinking?
I made my own Capri Suns for Thanksgiving.
A homemade Capri Sun.
I mean, adult Capri Sun.
But yeah, I just think that. Huh?
You got any extra of those?
Oh, I made a couple.
I'm gonna need one, but
you should make some in New Orleans.
Oh, they're easy to make.
Some hurricanes down in New Orleans.
Oh.
The drinks, obviously.
I got this recipe from Austin's mom.
Really?
No.
I don't know why I believe that, but I was like, that felt so genuine. Like, I know Austin's mom has been at some of the events, so
she's heavy on the Twitters.
Me and Austin's mom's she DM me.
She doesn't know you, Brice.
Oh, she absolutely does. Because one day I was tweeting some things, and she was like, "Where Austin?" I said, "You ain't got to say another thing, mama." Boop. And I watched that YouTube video. Okay.
But no, I know what you're saying, Wendell, and I think it's tough for Julie in this situation. What I will say to your question of like what makes it different is, I don't think Jake is really still like hot on the tail of trying to get out Julie, whereas obviously the Kendra wanting D out is a little bit more pressing. And then also just kind of what my perspective on this situation as the Reba 4 is that, you know, they have an ally in Emily, but Emily is closer with Kendra than she is with Jake, and Emily also doesn't have a vote. So this is an opportunity where with Emily not having a vote, you can kind of leave her out of things a little bit, cut out her other options, and leave in a Jake, who I think for guys like Austin and Drew is probably a better option for them going forward. So I really like the move to go just from the perspective of like a D, Drew, and Austin. I do think Jake is more of an asset to them, and I think Kendra's more of an asset to Emily. And this is the opportunity for them to get to get her out without kind of directly being like, Emily, we're leaving you out of this because she doesn't have a vote. But we obviously do see Emily kind of start to feel a little bit left out because she reassures Kendra that she should be all right. And then Drew fills her in on this plan that came to fruition without her really being in the loop. So I do think this could be a turning point for Emily going forward. But
Emily said, well, tell me when you came to that conclusion and tell me who helped you gather that conclusion.
Yeah.
Basil was like, oh, no.
He told her it was his people.
D.
Austin. The problem is for Emily going forward, you know, I think she's down to make a move, but to rally a group of Jake, Katora, and Bruce and then pull someone else over is sort of a formidable challenge. And that's why taking out Kendra was kind of the preference of the Reba group, I believe.
In that moment, though, I would love to know. I wonder if if Emily was thinking, Brando and Kendra sure look pretty loyal now.
Yeah, yeah. I do think that Reba group is very tight. Where it's not a bad group to get in with, because if you're looped into their alliance, you'll be good. But there's a point where if you can't win over an Austin or a Drew, you're just kind of at the bottom.
Right. I mean,
I think there's a possibility maybe Julie and Emily kind of start to compare notes, and something comes out of that. But it is, Drew, Austin, and D are certainly at the center of things, and so to sort of circumvent them is going to be it is one of those things where I feel like if you're in Emily's shoes and you're trying to go get a feeler for people, you talk to the wrong person who's got some loyalty to D. She goes back to D. It's tough. Like we already saw with Kendra going to Katora. Katora just kind of is reporting the duty for D. I hate to simplify it like that, but Katora really doesn't seem to be playing her own game. She's just like, Bella's a sinking ship. Let me.
But I mean, but no. But what we're not going to do is have no Katora slander, because I feel like she is playing her own game. Because when the ship is sinking,
it's not a winning game.
But I mean, it's a survival game, and sometimes in Survivor, you have to make it to another day, and so it would be easier.
Third place is more than 8th place, so.
I mean, it is, but I also feel like sometimes, Jack, people don't have the privilege to be in a position to have a game that they can play, and
that
sometimes
is true.
Sometimes their game, and sometimes which could be a winning game, is to tell people at the end how you had to survive. So, like, I don't like that comment.
No, well, okay, I'll stand by my comment, but
I'm gonna stand by my rebuttal.
I get that Katora and a couple of the Bella people are in a situation right now where the cracks aren't there for them to make that move, and so to make it to another day is important. What I will say for a Katora is, the prime example I'm thinking about from this episode is when Kendra comes to you and gives you an idea that maybe has some legs, maybe it can marinate a little bit, and something can happen. Information is power. Keep that info to yourself. Don't immediately go run to the power players and just report to them everything you know. You have to hold a couple things to yourself and kind of see where people are sitting, and then figure out what the best combination of players is to move forward in the game. But if you're constantly just getting information and giving it away, you have no legs in the game.
But she's not constantly giving information, and maybe at this point in the game, she's feeling like it's either me or somebody after like how things have gone. So it's like, yeah, if I have to give up a Kendra to the other side, that they can feel like they can use me, and me going into that knowing that, I'm not mad at that.
I just think I don't even disagree with that. I just think, like, save your ammunition for when the time to strike. Right.
But my point to that is, in order to save your ammunition, you need to be in the game to use your ammunition.
But I'm saying, even each round by round, vote by vote, I think it's in Katora's best interest to gather this information, see if other people are on XYZ page, and then say, okay, here's where I see everybody sitting at. Here's my best move. Maybe my best move is to go to Reba and say that Kendra is targeting them, and then vote with Reba to vote Kendra out. But at least I assessed my options and made this move. And that's what I think is a good game.
Any other option that's outside of Reba is her having to work with Bruce, and her having to work with Bruce at this point.
Well, maybe she needs to make that work.
I think it's gonna happen.
I mean, easier said than done. But again,
This is one of those situations, and you've given me backlash for saying this about Katora in the past. I don't necessarily think her moves are bad.
Well, you don't necessarily agree with them.
Oh, I definitely don't agree. I don't necessarily agree with them. That's true. I think the way she goes about formulating the moves is bad, and that's a little bit more nuanced to discuss. But I just think it's you need to stockpile information and your understanding of where players are at and proceed from there. But if you're just getting information and then immediately sending it off to other people, you have no like agency. You have no
But
leverage in the game, so
I
she's just giving up all her leverage
I
to
also
survive.
I just also feel like we don't see enough of Katurah in her gameplay for you to make that assessment, or for your assessment, in my opinion, to be valid, right? Like, I just feel like we
Well,
only really get very one-sided, and we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. But I just also feel like, for me, it's like, make it to another day. And the fact that she is still in this game, the fact that, like, it, for me, it says a lot. And for me, I feel like we're not seeing enough of her. And the fact that she is in this game, the fact that she
look,
is a black woman out here still surviving and able to dip and dodge, like, I feel like she's playing a harder game than most people give her credit for. It's just
look, I'm not trying to. I don't want to write her off, because I do think there's a situation where she's able to get in good with Reba, and then when the cracks align, she might be able to take advantage of those and stir things up and make things happen. But I just feel like we haven't seen that. Again, back to her decision-making process, I don't feel like we've seen those strategic instincts. Again, maybe it hasn't been shown, but I do think the cracks will emerge, and I don't necessarily believe that she'll be able to be the one to take full advantage of them. I think it's going to be an Emily that takes advantage of them. I think it's going to be
we see the position that Emily put herself in. So, like, with the people that
I don't think her position is that bad.
Who's in a better position?
I mean, what we have to see. Is
Emily,
it though?
I'm asking Brice.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Because I feel like Emily and Katurah at the same in the same boat.
But I think Emily has a better kind of a better blueprint on where she wants to go to win the game. Yeah, I do. Because right now Emily realizes that right now Emily realizes that she's not in the driver's seat, and she's starting to think about.
And so does Katurah, and that's why Katurah is jumping
Katurah
shit.
Katurah knows she hasn't been in the driver's seat, yet she still hops in the Reba car and just chills in like.
Because Katurah has never been in the driver's seat. Because they had Katurah in the trunk. That's why Katurah was in the trunk.
I feel like she's been happy to just post up in the trunk and be like,
I don't
all right,
know.
just give me this.
I just feel like, no, I don't believe that. And I feel like Emily has had a position to be in the driver's seat, and she chose to opt. She chose to get in the Uber with Drew and Austin, which wasn't a great decision.
I disagree.
Katurah. I just agree with you. Like, I just feel like I see things different for Katurah.
Fair enough.
And I'm sorry, if the ship is sinking and you jump ship, that is playing your own game.
I mean, but that's not a winning game.
I mean, well, we will have to see.
That's a let me hop on a lifeboat.
No, it's not. In order to win the game, you got.
That's like if the ship is sinking and the first thing you see is a life jacket. You're like, let me toss on a life jacket and jump in the water. Little do you know, around the corner there was a raft. You could have just gone and grabbed the raft, but instead you were like, I just want to get off this boat. Let me get a life jacket and just float around.
Guess what, Jack? You could get the life jacket, not have to doggy pedal so hard, and here comes the boat.
No,
because you know when you get in
the boat that someone else is driving.
Okay, and guess what? You can hop on in it, and guess what?
Here comes a shark.
And you can get on the boat. The boat driver that's driving could pass out, and then she have to jump in and say, like, it's still ways for her. If Mama Tina's still in the game,
I agree with that.
We leave it at that. We leave it at that.
If the boat and all the passengers pass out, then Katurah could cruise to the end.
And I mean, listen.
Shout out to Katurah, friend of the show.
Right. Shout out to Emily, a friend to the show.
When you see Jack in these streets.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You guys try to paint, Brice tries to paint it like
I'm not trying to paint you anyway. But I just feel like your takes are never like your takes on, like, I feel like sometimes your takes on her are a bit hard, and I just feel like I don't agree with them.
Okay, that's fair.
That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying from what I've seen is that, like, I don't think that you can't really argue that I guess we can agree on she hasn't really been in the driver's seat. And I guess the way that shakes out could go one of two ways, and it could go either way. And I guess we can't really say what happens till it happens. Like, if Katurah wins this and wants to shit on me, and you want to shit on me, I'll accept that and eat my words. But I just got to make the predictions how I feel like they're going to.
And I agree, agree. But for me, I again, my perspective is always for an underdog. My perspective is always like that somebody is counted out. And again, I just feel like she's still in this. Like, we don't really see a lot of Katurah other than talking about Bruce, right? So my thing is
that might be an inclination into
but is there a world that maybe Bruce goes home, and then if Bruce goes home, then I feel like that I don't know. I don't like
my question, Brice.
right.
If you spend all your time shooting at Bruce,
But that's
you
just
just
what we
jumped,
see. That's just
you
what
just
we
jumped off of a
see.
sinking ship and got ate by a shark.
That's just what we see. That's just
Like
what we see.
you just if you're so focused on the like.
But that's just what we see.
I agree.
I mean, that's always true, but what they show us is kind of what is.
It's not always
It's
true.
the story that they want to tell.
Right. So that's all. I'm just saying.
So, but Brice, once Bruce is out of the way, then what?
Then we'll see.
But Brice, what if Bruce is a number for her to do something?
I mean, and I'm not coming at you for you saying maybe they will get together. I'm not opposed to that. Together. And if they got together, then Jack would be like, she's still not playing her own game. Like, so like that's
Bruce is
I disagree.
They ain't doing it.
I'm just saying there are.
And look, I want to like you said, we don't see everything. I'm sure behind the scenes, Katora is playing a pretty solid social game. Like she seems to have pretty good relations with everybody other than Bruce. We just need to see her pivot from that sort of one track mind about Bruce or about this or that, and start to like like again for me, the big thing that I think is so important is gathering info and knowing when to dissolve it out into the group. And I feel like Katora, what we've seen, she just gets a lot. She gets info, but then she doesn't really hold on to it. She just goes and tells it to other people, which limits your options in the game.
Right.
And that's
but I also feel like that's like your perspective.
And that's
how to play as a man in the game of Survivor.
Well, I don't think that's I understand there's in the game that there are gender differences, but I don't think the idea of having information and utilizing it is a gender related thing.
I think it can be because
information is just overall information is power.
Yeah, like, but also depends on how it's perceived. Somebody could give the same information and they not perceive it the same way as somebody else. Somebody could give some information, they be like, nah, and then somebody could give some information and they be like, oh, that's the smartest thing I ever heard. Now that is a very
I agree with that, but to be fair, my argument is not about the giving of information, it's about the withholding of information. And so withholding it until the right time. So what we can agree that when you're giving out that information, it could be perceived differently based on who you are. But what I'm saying is that a good player will know when to give that information out. Is it always received the same way? No, but I think a good player knows the time. I think when Cochran won, he talked about how in his win it wasn't about like the moves he made, but rather the timing of the moves and the timing of giving out information. And that's what I think is so important. And I think what Katora is doing that is got me down on her a little bit is that she'll get information and just really jump to go give it to people. When if she could start gathering information and building a web of the social dynamics in her own mind, that's going to give her a lot more options than going and explaining those social dynamics to everybody else. Because you're basically she could have a puzzle that she's building, and if you're the only one with that full puzzle, you kind of have the most power in the game, but instead she's getting pieces and just going and handing them out to people. And so her puzzle is a little bit empty.
Okay.
I have one analogy.
Could be an abstract puzzle.
Have y'all seen y'all seen Game of Thrones, right? And you have all of these like little whatevers that like fight with each other and stuff. Meanwhile, the White Walkers are about to come and decimate y'all. In this case, we got like these Reva people we got these fellow people like infighting this, that, and the third. Y'all better get together because the White Walkers are coming. Winter is coming, and this Reba 4 have the ability and the firepower to get y'all out of here. Now, it could either be a Pagonging or where we have Katora, Jake, Emily, Bruce. They will be our next 4 eliminated.
Why? Because her name got to be named first.
Or not in any particular order.
Thank you.
Or they can get together, or they can find those cracks and shake things up. The other thing I see is almost like in Ghost Island, got me and Dom, and we didn't take no shots at each other, right? And we got to the end together. In what was the one with Jesse and Cody? Where
3?
Yeah. and Jesse took that shot right at his guy. Boom. And then Jesse was gone. In this case, what if we have like a D and an Austin and one of them take the right shot at the right time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? I'm not pulling a Dom and Wendell. I'm not pulling a Jesse and Cody, but I'm going to snipe you right when I need to snipe.
The thing that scares me with that statement, though, that I don't like is that, like, my odds are probably on D to probably pull that shot before Austin.
So D would shoot at Austin.
I think so.
Yeah,
Because
I think so, and I think she should because he got two
idols though. So
because he and if she
but he only got one now. He got Tina got one.
I think he might get it back, but we'll see.
Yeah, so I think she has the ability. I think she might shoot that shot, and if she shoots that shot, all she needs to do is sit at the end.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so I guess now we get over to Tribal.
Can I also ask you a question?
Yeah.
All right.
If you just get voted out and this is your first Tribal, do you need Jeff to be like, I can't believe what y'all did? Y'all got the biggest blindside ever. Y'all pulled a fast one on Kelly. Like, I was like, well, dang, Jeff, like, you know, it's still fresh. Like, I felt like he just was like,
right there.
Right there. She's
there
still
she
in
is.
shock.
You want to see a dead body?
No, that was funny. I will say, I think Kelly is the type of player where she realizes it was a big blind side. And I think at this point,
But
you know,
still.
you kind of want to hear Jeff be like, yo, that was a crazy blind. Because you know, like, maybe when the show comes out, like, it's going to be a big moment. Like, that's kind of exciting. So,
no, you're right.
I know what you mean, though. Like,
I'd have been like, leave me alone.
Yeah, it's weird to like point over at her and be like, you guys got her good. Like, and you're just like,
she didn't even see it coming.
Yeah.
Look at her. Look at the look of her.
Yeah.
Like,
I still got the votes here. Y'all had
If you guys
me.
didn't do that, she was gonna win, Kelly. You would have had $1 million if it didn't get you.
That's like, I bet the producers it was her. Y'all had me too.
Caleb over there, like, I thought mine was intense.
Right.
But
also, shout out to Queen Kelly because she looked great on Tribal. I mean, she looked great in Tribal Council sitting next to Caleb. I always like to check out the jury fits.
And shout out to them for holding hand. Like Caleb was giving her some strength because it was clear that she was feeling that emotion. What I was noticing during Tribal was when Jeff would talk to like a Brice or something, watching how they and the other people react. And I'm like, okay, I'm really trying to gather how people will receive Brice. And if he sits at the end and it looked like people weren't happy with him.
Only thing I kept noticing was why Austin staring so hard at D. Okay, every time D was like, he was like,
how do you feel about that, Brice?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. No. But no, you're right. When Brice was talking, and again, like I said, him winning that immunity, okay, got his swag back because Brice was Brucing at Tribal. Like, again, dare I say, I was like happy to see Brice back at Tribal. But again, talking about him being a threat, winning twice is threatening to him. But I also was just like the bigger picture of like, you know, like, but just interesting.
Yeah, he said about winning, he said it's a big deal, but not a good thing, which I thought was kind of a interesting way to put it. But I mean, he's definitely right. Like, you start winning more and more, it's going to up your threat level to where when you don't win, you could be in some trouble. But I think Brice is at this inflection point in the game where some safety will help him reset and maybe find some footing.
But regardless, with Brice, I feel like whether you won immunities or not, you still have a huge threat on your back. So it's like, I feel like it don't matter. Like, whether you have them or not, like, you already know they're coming for you. So your back's against the wall. So get your back up off the wall. And
Definitely.
right. So
I had another note. I said, talking about Caleb and Kelly, I said, could they even vote for a Bruce, seeing how they were reacting? But I also said that about D. I'm like, if she's at the end after, like, and I started to think about, like, if she blindsides Austin, she's gonna have a lot of blood on her hands at the end.
But
could we get a jury that's like mad at that? Like Kelly and D were two strong women that I thought were going to the end to duke it out. Now she has her blood. Like, is there a world where D gets to the end, but people are so mad at her?
If D gets to the end, in my opinion, I think that people would have respected the game that she has played by the respect that she has garnished thus far in the game, right? Like, I don't know. I feel that with her relationships, but if they let her get to the end, I like it, because I feel like in these next 4 votes, like, if y'all don't wake up, if y'all don't wake up, then it's like, okay, then we can crown.
Who needs to wake up?
Drew. Why no? But I'm just saying, like,
no, you're right.
I feel like Drew, Tina,
Julie.
It's
like Drew, but the thing is also, if Drew sits at the end, he's been playing a strong game too, but he has to be at the end with the right people. So they need to wake up, or else it's looking like it's going in a particular direction.
Or I just got little chills. Here's another thing that just popped into my mind. What if that's always popping in my mind. What if, you know how you keep saying these I don't even want to call them stragglers, but you know how you keep saying Katura, Emily, Jake, and Bruce. I was like, who the hell is Vic? Where he been?
He's really a floater.
New twist.
Did you just see my face? I was like, Vic. We keep saying them. What if there's a world that D is so vicious that she jumps ships and, like, takes out Drew, Tina? I'm just saying.
I think she's cold-blooded, but I don't see her doing. If she jumps like that, then it's like it would be like,
wouldn't do it this early.
It's too, like.
But I'm just saying.
All eyes on it. Like,
yeah, and then guess what? And then who's left? She's still a challenge beast, and she still got Couture, and Bruce is still there.
So, like, she's in a spot where she needs to keep her alliance tight and maybe cut like an Austin at the final 5 or final 4, and then she could win it. But it would be foolish of her to be too trigger happy right now and start cutting her own people.
In actuality, she could win it sitting next to Austin, but
says who?
She could win it sitting next to Austin.
Says who?
Agree. Yeah, agree. It's like, you might as well, maybe at 4 you get him. You try to put him in the 5. I mean, that's
no. I get him as anything under 6 or even 7. But
I mean, Jack, you just did this whole thing on the Maroonin, Raymond, Xander, Austin, and now you jumping ship.
They both.
Now you jumping ship. You gotta play your own game, Jack. You gotta play your own game.
What are you? Okay. I'm rooting for Austin, but if I'm looking at it from D's perspective, I could say maybe you take out Austin.
D's perspective if you team Austin over here.
I guess we're looking at it differently.
No,
okay.
But
we got a Pokemon reference.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, now you watch Pokemon.
I don't. I just heard it and I wrote down something. I thought she said, as a Pokemon, you evolve into Charizard. See,
one of the dopest Pokemon.
Okay,
I don't know what that is.
Remind me a little bit of Austin.
Charizard?
I don't know.
He's the main one.
He's one of the main guys.
Charizard.
He's like a big fire dragon.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing I wanted to bring up before we get into the vote is Drew's talking about, we got to hope that the people who lost their votes aren't lying to us. And Kendra was like, whoa. they could be lying to us. And Drew's like, I mean, yeah, that's kind of the name of the game. And she was like, I did not think about that.
But Jack, I think Probst was the one that started that conversation, which to me was like, whoa, Probst doesn't ever do anything like this. Because he said something like, if they're telling the truth, he said something that prompted the conversation. And Probst never tips people off like that. That's all I wanted to mention.
Never say never.
True.
Yeah.
But I do think it's one of those things that it was a weird split, because I could see why people with that wouldn't really be like, well, why would they lie about not having a vote? But I see why the game players like Austin, your mind immediately jumps to like, can I lie about this? And is it an advantage for me? So I think plenty of people were probably like, they could be lying, but that's an interesting split, because it's like on a basic level, like it's kind of like, what's the advantage? But that's one of those instances where Austin sees a potential advantage there and seizes it. And Kendra is like none the wiser. But we do get, if you guys are ready, we can hop into the vote.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do you guys wonder if Austin might have thought that someone else might have lied?
I don't think so.
I feel, I mean, if he's willing to do it himself, then I'm like, man, maybe there might have been a conversation with him and his Rebas like, yo, someone else might be lying.
It's true.
I mean, you're right in theory, but I also feel like the emotion that we saw from Katurah and Emily, I feel like was pretty like believable. But you're right.
I just think that, and I feel like an Austin would at the very least mention numerous possibilities.
I bet that he did.
Yeah, and then it's like, all right, none of that happened, so it doesn't even need to be edited in.
Exactly.
But anyway,
but you got to treat it like people might have a vote.
Yeah.
Which again, to your point earlier to Brice's point about this twist being a little weird, is now when you have all these votes that are like may or may not exist, it's harder to pull off a big move. And so I think that kind of lulls people into making a safer, more unanimous choice, because you don't know if you need 4 votes or 5 votes or 3 votes or whatever.
Right.
And so it's hard to game plan that and make a big move. So I think that is one of the negative. As much as interesting as it was to see Austin lie about his vote, that is a negative factor here, where it's harder to actually, if you want to make a big move, you don't really know what the actual numbers even are. So it kind of pushes people towards the safer choice.
Yeah.
And then we get into the vote, and this is another piece that where like I said earlier, where I was watching, I was like, I wonder if Austin's going to do this. And then he does exactly that. We see Emily and Katurah without their votes. They walk up and they kind of just immediately walk back. So Austin, as soon as he turns the corner, is like, oh, I got to run. So he runs and scribbles the name down and puts it in and runs back, because he's thinking wisely. He's like, I got to look like my parchment says I don't have a vote. So if I'm in there too long, everyone's going to be like, well, what's he doing up there? He doesn't even have a vote. So I just thought that was like a little thing for Austin that a lot of people might not think about, but I thought it was a super good move.
I did as well.
Yeah.
I did have a question. Like, after the votes are read and Jeff is reading the votes, why did Jake turn to Kendra like that? That was a little confusing to me.
Oh, I don't think I noticed that.
Like, as soon as he turned right at her and like gave her a stare.
But the way that I perceived it was like he was turning at her like,
why did you vote for me?
Or like, I don't know. It was almost as if like he thought then the votes were going to swing to him, because it wasn't even a Kendra. It was like looking at, I don't know. It was just weird.
It was weird.
I think maybe Jake, and I love him, but maybe this is one of those moments where he's like, let me ham it up a little bit.
Maybe that he's like saying that he sent her home. I don't know, but it was a little weird, a little off. Like I didn't know what that was about.
No, I didn't really notice that, so I can't speak too much to it. But
yeah, it could have been like, oh, my name was in your mouth. Well, look at this. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, what you think, because I was confused.
Was it when she voted for him, or when the second?
No, it was like when the second Kendra vote came down.
Oh, so maybe he was like trying to be like, you bring my name up, look what happened.
But it wasn't even that. But like the energy of him shifting synced that. But then him I don't know. It was weird.
Maybe it was like, okay, we battled it out. I won, but like I respect you and I'm sorry you're going home. Like kind of like a little bit of everything, but
like that's what I was then thinking. But then it was like he didn't do anything or say anything. Like
no,
I don't know.
Yeah, that I didn't notice that. That's a little odd. But I mean, Jake, I love him. He's constant entertainment. But part of being so entertaining is that sometimes you're going to try to create moments that don't have to be moments. So maybe that's one of those things where, you know, fresh off last tribal where he had sort of that little moment last tribal where he was like, whoa, sorry, whoa. Like, I thought that was so fun. So maybe he's just now he's just been on go mode, gameplay wise and entertainment wise. So I don't know.
So we get Kendra voted out, and
we love Kendra.
I have now seen back to back like heavy hitting eliminations, as far as like I could have cried for the last two eliminations, Caleb and Queen Kelly. And when Kendra got voted out, like there were no hugs.
Oh yeah, mind you. First of all, she went out like how I would have went out. Okay,
there was like it. I felt that one too. Like yo,
Santa got a brand new bag.
Yeah, Santa got a brand new bag, and
Santa got a brand new bag. Santa got a brand new bag. Hey, Santa got a brand new bag. What? Santa got a brand new bag. Kendra said, y'all ain't getting nothing for Christmas.
Kendra was not happy. And like, that's what I'm saying.
I loved it.
We're getting people sent to the jury like with like gut punches. We're not getting hugs. We're getting people blindsided and hurt and sent. So I'm just trying to figure out like
what's the jury going to be like?
What this jury's going to be like and how the rest of these votes are going. I just like, because 3 in a row like hit me as a viewer. So that's all I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know. We could be watching a Pagonging again. We could watch things shake up, but we could also be surprised at someone sitting at the end that we think is the clear standout and not winning the game.
What also is good is that we have the mayor of Ponderosa, Caleb, there. And again, for him to be the mayor of Ponderosa, I really do think it is a great thing because he is so, I feel like he would do such a great job with like consoling people here. Like, so I find comfort in knowing that he is there.
Yeah, he's gonna give them big hugs and smiles, and like they're gonna have drinks, and he's gonna make sure they have a good time. But man, they're gonna have some real feelings towards that stuff going on in that game, I think.
But I do think, like you said, Brice, Caleb's also a good mayor for Ponderosa because, you know, he's a game player, and I think he's got a lot of emotional intelligence, but also a lot of game intelligence. So I think hopefully he can sort of guide the conversation, about strategy to where. Those emotions, I think, at the end will still shine through, but I think he's going to be able to steer people to look at people's games and hopefully, you know, have respect for the gameplay and help us find, you know, the best winner at the end. Because a bitter jury can be fun in terms of their questioning, but a bitter jury is not very fun if it leads to a winner that we believe to be a little undeserving.
True. Well, I mean, if this was episode 9, I can't wait to see what episode 10 is going
that teaser looked like a banger. The Jake
I don't watch y'all know I don't watch the teasers.
Bro, it's going up next epised.
There's some straight up arguing.
Oh.
He said he thinks he's a mob boss or something like that. Basile says that about Drew. He said something
about Jake.
About Jake, yeah.
Basile said that about Drew.
Basile and Drew split into 2 players and start going at each other.
He starts arguing with himself.
You're a mob boss. Well, if I'm a mob boss, what are you?
The whole time, Drew has actually been 2 mini people in a trench coat, and then they break off into 2 of their own players, and then they argue. And they're both 4'7".
He's been a twin the whole time.
Could you imagine Drew having that conversation with Basile and the rest of the camp just looking at him?
Basile would be like, "You're such a nerd." Drew would be like, "Stop being such a ladies' man."
I flushed your Pokemon cards down the toilet. You asshole. D's
Wow.
like, yo, bro, you okay?
Is that why you ate so much rice?
Right.
Gotta feed 2 people.
I'm gonna tell Jake you ate his rice. Whoa, bro. All right. Well, listen. Well, episode 10 is for sure to be a banger. So we will be covering it next week. We appreciate you. This has been your Survivor News season 45, episode 9. We out.
Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News.
Survivor News.
Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News. Survivor News.